the cue ball cover retract at this point.
C1 yellow, locks flight bid to close and auto. Verified. DPDC, retract the cue ball.
We have. The cue ball cover has been retracted. T-minus 4 minutes and 40 seconds and counting. 4 minutes and 30 seconds and counting.
Launch control, 3 minutes, 44 seconds and counting. Our countdown still going well, aiming toward our planned liftoff at 7 a.m. We're now a matter of about 20 seconds away from the automatic sequencer coming in. A matter of a minute or so ago, we retracted the cue ball cover, which protects the angle of attack meter atop the launch escape tower. Now 3 minutes, 25 seconds and counting. The terminal count sequencer is armed at the present time. The sequencer will come in at 3 minutes and 6 seconds, where the countdown will be completely automatic from that time down. 3 minutes, 10 seconds and counting. 3 minutes, 5 seconds and counting. We have firing command. The sequencer is in. T-minus 3 minutes and counting. Our countdown completely automatic from this time down. However, as reported earlier, the crew here will be monitoring a number of red line values to assure that we have satisfactory temperatures and pressures during these final moments of the count. Now, T-minus 2 minutes, 40 seconds and counting. The various propellant tanks within the Saturn V launch vehicle in all 3 stages are now being pressurized. They're primarily pressurized with helium to assure that we will get a good flow of both the liquid oxygen and the liquid hydrogen or the RP1 fuel, depending on the stage. T-minus 2 minutes, 20 seconds and counting. Our automatic status board here, driven by the computer, indicates all is still well with the countdown at this time. The pressurization sequence continuing, and we will stand by for further reports. Now coming up on 2 minutes. Mark, T-minus 2 minutes and counting. T-minus 2, we have confirmation that the second stage liquid oxygen tank now has been pressurized. 1 minute, 50 seconds and counting. All still going well at this time. Minute 35 seconds. Still all going well at this time. The pressurization continuing within the Saturn V launch vehicle. 1 minute 30 seconds and counting. All still going well at this time. Receiving some readouts on some of these red line values. All indications are that everything is still satisfactory. T-minus 1 minute 15 seconds and counting. Third stage propellants now have been pressurized. Control, T-minus 60 seconds and counting. First stage now pressurizing. We're coming up on the power transfer in a matter of seconds. This is when we switch to internal power aboard the vehicle. T-minus 50 seconds. We have the power transfer. The vehicle is internal. The complete vehicle is now pressurized. T-minus 40 seconds and counting. Our status board still indicates all is well. T-minus 35. T-minus 30 seconds and counting. Number 1 swing arm now being retracted from the Saturn V vehicle. 25 seconds and counting. T-minus 20, still counting at this time. T-minus 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9. We have ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. We have commits. We have liftoff. Liftoff at 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. 5 seconds into the flight, we're looking good. We have cleared the tower. We have
Understand,
tower.
Chris. Houston Center assumes control. Pitch and roll program started. Our vehicle going now to an azimuth heading of 72 degrees. All 5 F1 engines firing, looking good. Given a green light at this time from range safety. Roll program is completed now. Pitch profile still in progress. 40 seconds. Mark 45 seconds. Our vehicle well beyond the beach now. Our IP impact point moving out well over water as desired. Mark 56 seconds. Our cabin pressure is relieving, coming down now from a pad base 16 pounds per square inch. Looking good. Mark 1 minute, 10 seconds coming up on our period of maximum aerodynamic pressure on the vehicle. Still looking good. Mark 1 minute, 25 seconds. Pass through max Q. Still looking good. Now 10 nautical miles in altitude, heading out beyond the Earth's atmosphere. We're on our way. Mark 1 minute, 45 seconds. 14 nautical miles in altitude, 12 nautical miles downrange. Our velocity at this time, 4,600 feet per second and accelerating. Mark 2 minutes, Flight Director Cliff Charlesworth now polling members of his flight control team as to our status for staging, and we're standing by. Shut down. Our 4 outboard engines have shut down. Booster engineer reports ignition on our second stage. Our first stage will be falling away shortly now. It's day's work done. Again, the greatest weightlifting effort ever. Mark 2 minutes 50 seconds, 40 nautical miles in altitude, 70 nautical miles downrange. Has separated this crucial timeline event right on schedule.
The slow, ponderous movement of this giant crawler transporter from the Vehicle Assembly Building to Launch Complex 39 at the Kennedy Space Center, Florida, begins another mission for the National Aeronautics and Space Administration's launch and flight control teams. The mission of NASA's unmanned Apollo 6 will test the Saturn V for the second time. The world's largest launch vehicle, generating 7.5 million pounds of thrust at liftoff, is scheduled to roar from Launch Complex 39 no earlier than April 3rd, 1968. The early sequence of the flight calls for first stage engine cutoff to come some 2 minutes and 30 seconds into the mission. Immediately following first stage cutoff, separation and ignition of the second stage occurs. At about 3 minutes and 5 seconds into the mission, the launch escape system is jettisoned, its role of spacecraft protector no longer needed. At 8 minutes 37 seconds into the flight, the second stage shuts down. That event is closely followed by ignition of the third stage. The third stage engine will burn about 2.5 minutes, pushing itself, the Lunar Module Test Article, and the Apollo Command and Service modules into a circular orbit around the Earth at near 100 nautical miles altitude. The flight control team on the ground will be hard at work during 2 orbits as they check the third stage, the spacecraft, and all systems aboard all vehicles. A fully remoted network of ground stations will be exercised for the first time, both for communications from the spacecraft and for the relaying of commands from the Mission Control Center in Houston to a programmer aboard the spacecraft, which replaces a crew on this flight. Near the end of the second revolution, when all checks have been satisfactorily completed, the second burn of the third stage engine will be commanded. The engine will ignite and start the stage toward a planned apogee or high point of close to 279,000 miles from the surface of the Earth. After the burn is completed, the third stage will pitch back 180 degrees and the command and service modules will separate from it, then slow down by firing the service propulsion engine in a retrograde attitude. The high point reached by the spacecraft will be about 12,000 miles. The third stage will continue alone into deep space. Near the end of the mission, the service propulsion engine is fired to speed up the spacecraft to a velocity which subjects the command module to lunar return heat loads as it slams into the Earth's atmosphere. The prime recovery area is planned in the Pacific Ocean several hundred miles from Hawaii, 9 hours and 50 minutes after the mission of Apollo 6 began.